and that more often than not, the disturbance simply passes away. He hasn't experienced any kind of emotional trauma, has he? The doctor says. Nothing out of the ordinary at home? No, they both murmur together. They shake their heads, and Dr. Banerjee shrugs. Parents, she says, it's probably nothing to worry about. She gives them a brief smile. As difficult as it is, I'd say that you may just have to weather this out. But the doctor has never heard those screams. In the mornings after the nightmares, as Karen calls them, Jean feels unnerved, edgy. He works as a driver for the United Parcel Service, and as he moves through the day after a screaming attack, there is a barely perceptible hum at the edge of his hearing, an intent, deliberate static sliding along behind him as he wanders through streets and streets in his van. He stops along the side of the road and listens. The shadows of summer leaves tremble murmurously against the windshield, and cars are accelerating on the nearby road. In the treetops, a cicada makes its trembly pressure cooker hiss. Something bad has been looking for him for a long time, he thinks, and now, at last, it is growing near. When he comes home at night, everything is normal. They live in an old house in the suburbs of Cleveland, and sometimes after dinner they work together in the small patch of garden out in back of the house, tomatoes, zucchini, string beans, cucumbers, while Frankie plays with Legos in the dirt. Or they take walks around the neighborhood, Frankie riding his bike in front of them, his training wheels squeaking. They gather on the couch and watch cartoons together, or play board games, or draw pictures with crayons. After Frankie is asleep, Karen will sit at the kitchen table and study. She is in nursing school. And Jean will sit outside on the porch, flipping through a news magazine or a novel, smoking the cigarettes that he has promised Karen he will give up when he turns 35. He is 34 now, and Karen is 27, and he is aware, more and more frequently, that this is not the life that he deserves. He has been incredibly lucky, he thinks. Blessed, as Jean's favorite cashier at the supermarket always says. Have a blessed day, she says, when Jean pays the money and she hands him his receipt, and he feels as if she has sprinkled him with her ordinary, gentle beatitude. It reminds him of long ago, when an old nurse had held his hand in the hospital and said that she was praying for him. Sitting out in his lawn chair, drawing smoke out of his cigarette, he thinks about that nurse, even though he doesn't want to. He thinks of the way she'd leaned over him and brushed his hair as he stared at her, imprisoned in a full body cast, sweating his way through withdrawal and DTs. He had been a different person back then, a drunk, a monster. At 18, he married the girl he'd gotten pregnant, and then had set about slowly, steadily, ruining all their lives. When he'd abandoned them, his wife and son, back in Nebraska, he had been 24, a danger to himself and others. He'd done them a favor by leaving, he thought, though he still feels guilty when he looks back on it. Years later, when he was sober, he even tried to contact them. He wanted to own up to his behavior, to pay the back child support, to apologize. But they were nowhere to be found. Mandy was no longer living in the small Nebraska town where they'd met and married, and there was no forwarding address. Her parents were dead. No one seemed to know where she'd gone. Karen didn't know the full story. She had been, to his relief, uncurious about his previous life, though she knew he had some drinking days, some bad times. She knew that he'd been married before, too, though she didn't know the extent of it. Didn't know that he had another son, for example. Didn't know that he had left them one night, without even packing a bag, just driving.